Now, it's an odd look, isn't it, to say the least, when the ruling party in Nigeria suspends one of its leading senators for raising questions about the conduct of a primary election. Questions that he says appear to be backed by a measure of evidence that something untoward might have occurred in the course of those primaries. But that appears to be what the All Progressives Congress has done with Senator Jimoh Ibrahim in the race for the forthcoming governorship election in Ondo State. It follows a primary contest in which the incumbent governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa, was declared the winner, an outcome which some of his opponents, including Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, dispute. Well, the case is now in court. But how much is the bruising political conflict in Ondo State symptomatic of the wider picture in the APC and other political parties in Nigeria? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the APC senator representing Ondo South, Senator Jimoh Ibrahim. Senator, good to see you.
Thank you, Jess.
How are you?
Very nice. I'm fine. Looking good.
Well, you are looking good.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't look like you've got a hair out of place.
Not
in
at all.
spite of the political sort of battles that you're fighting in your state.
Because it's not personal.
Sorry?
It's not personal.
Yeah. It shouldn't be.
It's not about me. It's about the system.
Well, I mean, it is to some extent about you, because you've been suspended from the APC for alleged anti-party activities, ostensibly for calling the APC governorship primary election in Ondo State a mega fraud. Yeah. Tell us about that, because there are divisions over that decision to suspend you, and at least one faction has declared support for you.
So you've answered the question.
No, I haven't answered it. We want to hear from you.
Because you said there was division.
Sorry?
So you said there was a division, isn't it? And that one faction tried to suspend me. That's not possible. You can't suspend somebody in that system where you didn't give him a query to answer. And you have not accused him. If you say it's at the party, you should send him a letter to explain why. And then he will reply. Is that not the elementary requirement of the Constitution?
Well, I mean,
so that doesn't happen. And then that's why you see my ward chairman coming on the air that, look, this is not possible. We are not part of this. And all that. And I think that settles that. We don't need to over-label that. If you want to suspend somebody successfully, according to APC Constitution, you will suspend him at the ward level, at the local government level, at the state level, and at the National Working Committee level. So we haven't even started.
So what are they saying to you at the national level?
About what?
Well, about whether you're suspended or not.
I haven't had any communication from anybody. So neither from the ward or from the state or from the local government or from the national. The matter hasn't got to national. I told you, you have to go through the layers of requirement. So obviously speaking, forget about that. That's also suspension. Just a ruse and some children playing with time.
Do you think, though, that the weight of your words merits this action? This purported action against you? I mean, is it proportionate and reflective of the seriousness of the accusations against you?
Everybody knows I would never engage in anti-party. If I'm no longer going to be in APC, I will say it publicly. So people know that for Jimoh Ibrahim. I will be able to tell you the way it is. I don't care who you are. You know, it matters not, it's not to me, because I'm going to tell you exactly what are the factors. There are many political parties. So obviously speaking, I cannot do anti-party. I can't do one party in the open, another one in the secrets. You know, with time, you will know who is in those parties they are talking about. I'm not involved, and I don't want to be involved. But that's not to say that it's worth anything other than the fact that if I so wish, I can decide to drop my identity of any party and join another one. I think it's a constitutional right.
Absolutely.
And if there are issues,
but you may have to lose your seat.
It doesn't matter. What do I? Actually, if you want to know, I did actually contact the Senate President some time ago, and I told him that I want to resign from the Senate. And he said, we need to see this evening. And I went to him. I said, what's your concern? I want to leave the Senate. And he told me, no, I cannot handle it. Let's wait until the party leader is around. And then we waited. But again, I look at it from the fact that my people who elected me might
have a responsibility.
So I don't need to be, out of provocation, decide to throw away. Politics is not my first address. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, but obviously you like politics. I mean, you're running. You were trying to run for government.
Yeah, because I need to help my people who are deprived for a very long time. The Kale Ilajeris, the Odibo people, the Lelujokebo, were not actually in the confinement of what government should be. So I further with my knowledge, I can make an impact. But it's not compulsory, and again, it's not personal. It's something that have to do with distillments of pain to the society into governance, and then readdress situations, and then bring hope to hopelessness, and then justice to the unjust, and then move forward.
And do you think it's because of that? Did that have something to do with the position you're in?
Well, if you are running for governorship of a state or president of Nigeria, you expect that you face some converging complexities around your running in a developing politics like Nigeria. And you also know that democracy is vulnerable. So the vulnerability of democracy have to come into play. I don't know, you expect that you see most of these things. That's why Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the most criticized person and most insulted and abused, but he still became the president of Nigeria. So these are part of the praxis. There's a distillment of taxonomy that people bring out to say this is what they are made up in their blood or political system in Nigeria. So it's not about Jimoh as a person. It's about testing Jimoh vulnerability to try to get into office. And in the Southwest, where education is very high, it becomes a stigma that you have to do this test run. And you must also pass the test in order for you to assume office brilliantly.
Right. And you are, of course, currently in court seeking an order for a fresh primary to be conducted. Is that right?
Yeah. It's one of the prayers, not the only prayer.
So basically, your sense is that they're trying to, based on what you told us a minute ago, they're trying to cap your political fortunes. And
not mine, the system.
Yeah, but you represent that.
Well, I'm not the only one that
represent a particular constituency.
Yes,
yes. They're trying to cap.
Yes, the interest of the constituency that I represent is pivotal edifice to which I took political actions and decisions.
Right. So, in a sense, it is fair to say that you believe that they're putting a firewall on your chances of becoming governor, if you ever had a chance.
Not personal, like I said. It's about the system trying.
It doesn't matter whether it's a system or not.
Yeah.
I mean,
let me come from this.
That's what I need to be clear on.
Let me clear the issue with you. It's about instillment of internal democracy within the political structure in order to enhance the value of democratic system. So what we are saying is that primaries are not conducted in the way it was conducted.
So you're fighting the principle.
Exactly.
Right.
The principle.
Okay,
so it's not about
that.
I'm not saying.
So you're not just a
I'm not saying
loser, are you?
Cancel the primary,
right.
Make Jimoh a governorship candidate. No. I'm just saying let's try and improve on internal democracy.
Right.
And that's very important. It's a condition sacrosanct to democratic process, and it's very important in a fragile economy, democratic economy, or political economy you want to call it. So you need to have internal democracy well at the top level of the dashboard. And for a ruling party, it's something you cannot play with.
Right.
If you look at the Okoro CJN, my lord, of the Supreme Court, he said that if you decided to use direct primary as mode of primaries for your selection of candidates, you must abide with the Electoral Act and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and your own guideline. If you choose to breach your guideline under any circumstances, even if INEC did not monitor the election, we as Supreme Court will now have it as a policy to void your action such a way that you will respect internal democracy. So what the Supreme Court have come to say in Taraba's case is that internal democracy is key to democratic value, and that's exactly what we're trying to look at. That in our own case, we are saying, let's revisit internal democracy. This can be achieved by party leadership saying, we will correct ourselves and we are saying correct it by declaring this one void first, and then start the process all over again and all that. And that's exactly what we are saying in court.
So, I mean, in the context of what you're just telling us,
Yes.
I mean, it must be enormously troubling for you as a senior member of the APC that we seem to be seeing more of these disputed primaries occurring in a ruling party that should be setting an example and showing itself to be worthy of the trust of the Nigerian
Exactly. So you've
people.
come to the real point. It's not about the ruling party itself alone. It's just that the ruling party is the leader of democratic system. So internal democracy is very important. One, the voyage of any fraud, corruption, and then of course making the system obey your own guideline. For example, in section D of the guideline issued by APC to INEC, it says that we shall operate open, direct, open ballot, open secret ballot, option A4. Now, you use the word ballot. You didn't say open secret votes, but ballot. What's the meaning of ballot in dictionary? It means there must be a ballot to work at thumbprint, and then pick my candidate. You can't say, well, because it's option A4, it doesn't require ballot, it's require counting, no. Ballot have been described in the Supreme Court. I say, like, if you say ballot, then you must have the list of candidates and their picture or your party logos so that you can print, the candidate can print one. Then you went in the paragraph F of that guideline to say that once you finish voting, you will get indelible ink in the thumb of your right hand. It will be painted. Why do you have to paint your right hand if there is no ballot system? So we are saying that this principle, which consists about 60% of the entire guideline, we are not comply with. And Supreme Court says comply with your own guidelines. That's exactly what we are talking about. So these are the issues, part of the issues. I can't go into the deepness of the case because of the fact that the matter is in court, is subjudice. And as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 34-year-old in the bar, I think I will not discuss judicial matter here.
I understand.
But it's nice to cite some precedents to see the basis.
Right, of course. Let's just be clear that you're not a sore loser.
Well, it matters not. If I win, it's score 1 in my mind.
No, but what I'm saying is, are you a sore loser? Because a lot of people are wondering whether you're just a sore loser. I mean, because, it is a fact that the incumbent governor is quite popular, and he could conceivably be more popular than you are.
Well, why do you come to that? Let's look at empirical evidence.
Well, I'm asking. I didn't know. I'm not there.
Let me answer you.
Yeah.
Now, I answer question with empirical facts. I don't answer by narrative. The incumbent governor contested election for House of Rep. He lost. He couldn't even win a local government. I contested election to the Senate. I won in the 6 of the 6 local governments, 65 of the 66 wards, 111,677 votes to come into the Senate. The election was not challenged by my political opponents from PDP. Now, the current governor was a deputy governor to Akiti. We voted for Akeredolu. Akeredolu died in office. Automatically, constitutionally, he becomes the governor. So why the popularity comes for political legitimacy, except for the inheritance? We're talking about political legitimacy here within the context of moral and legal parameter as a measurement of political legitimacy. So the key issue here is that I wouldn't want to tell you that, I don't want to say this. The governor himself cannot sit down here and say he's more popular than me. If he must win the next election, I have to take him to the 203 wards. Otherwise, forget about it.
Very interesting. Well, let's turn to you personally then, since you've talked about your victory by a wide margin. At the
and my opponent got 62,000. Right. I got 111,000.
So almost double.
And let me also say this before your next question. APC had never been victorious in any senatorial election in my senatorial district. This is the first time that APC will have a senator representing Ondo South. It can always be PDP since APC in session. I'm the first senator to represent Ondo South. You remember the like of Olusegun Agagu of blessed memory. Contested for Senate in that area, he lost. So we have people like Kulere, Ole, Yele Omogoa. All PDP people have been the one representing Ondo South in the Senate. And Ondo South votes is big. 66 wards, you know, and I'm able to get to record about 111,677 votes. So my opponent got barely 50-something thousand votes. I won a 65 of the 66 ward. The 66 ward was cancelled. Okay, I won in 6 of the 6 local governments. So isn't that incredible?
Well, if you
think
say so
do you
yourself,
think anybody will want to lose
like
that to any other person or any other political party?
Well, in that regard, let's turn to you personally then. The people gave you that mandate.
Brilliant.
How have you performed as a senator representing Ondo South that would merit your being given a shot at the governorship?
Brilliant. In the Senate, I was able to bring before the Senate 8 bills. Within 1 year, 8 bills. Some of them are in 3rd reading, 2nd reading, even 4th reading. Now, I was able to bring the bill on bitumen. Since 1958, when oil was discovered in Nigeria, in Ibrahim, in Bayelsa State, nobody talked about bitumen. Now, I was the first person to bring a bill about bitumen because $46 billion bitumen deposited in South Central, this is where I come from, in Agbabu, Oderele, Odeayi, Igbotako, $46 billion bitumen right in there. So I brought the bill now to the Senate to create this bitumen development commission, and it's now at the 3rd stage. You know, so before we go on break, it should be at the 4th stage. Almost go to presidential signature. You know, I'm a first-timer in the Senate. I represented the Senate as a chairman of Interparliamentary Worldwide. I've been to the World Bank, IMF, United Nations. In fact, I was also the president of Interparliamentary Union in Geneva about 2 months ago for a whole day. You know, I conducted an affair for 146 countries. Now coming back, I brought the bill on data bank. That in this country, we don't have data. How many abandoned projects do you have? Nobody knows. Nobody can say this is the amount of, where are they? Nobody knows. How many cases are pending in court today to know how many judges to be appointed, to be employed? We don't know. How many journalists do we even have in Nigeria? No database. So I said, let's have a federal data bank if we are serious about development. Beyond that, I brought the motion on Ayetoro. I'm sure you are aware of that, going to extinction as a result of the ocean charge. You know, that's coming up. And the federal government has spent 6.8 billion on one stretch, another 11 billion. I want to know where this money, you know, goes to, because people are suffering right in there. Beyond that, I empower 300 people, you know, with 300,000 for 300 people in the cash payment by bank draft to those people to do their businesses and all that. So I have been doing excellently well. We did the rice palliative. We are doing more. We did disables. You know, just got about 300 wheelchair just arrived about 2 weeks ago. We're going to distribute to them by the 1 year anniversary. 300 wheelchair to 300 disabled plus 100,000 per disabled. These are lots of impactful programs that help the people. So the key point now is that if I migrated to the governorship, I will be looking at the fundamental problem of the state and how we can solve it using scientific analytical approach. And that's exactly what I have done. So in the Senate, I have functioned as chairman of Interparliamentary. I've represented the Senate President in various international fora. I've delivered papers for Nigeria to put Nigeria at very real value that it's supposed to have. And beyond that, I presented 8 bills to help my people to move forward. I've, you know, imparted in time of giving palliative to people, and serious palliatives. You know, the women that I give 300,000 per person to were very poor people who could use that money to trade. We don't want to give them 100,000 for 900 people because 100,000 just disappeared because of inflation. But 300,000, they can sell their oranges, they can sell little things over there. These disabled that will get 300 wheelchairs and then get 100,000 alongside with it, they will not be staying in the house where you are going to be feeding them. They'll be on the wheelchair. It's automatic. You press the button, it takes you out, and then you move on. And this is the kind of thing we have to do in humanitarian service. But they're not even enough, as we are planning to do more.
Well, that sounds very impressive for someone who's been in the Senate for just a year.
For the first time, yeah.
1 year. I mean, so that's your 1 year
in office.
Let's turn to your party, the APC.
Yes.
this time focusing on the 1 year in office of President Tinubu. What is your assessment of his performance?
Tinubu came with good intention. And the interesting thing is that he's not a burden to Nigeria. You know, he has made money before, so he's not coming to carry money and be buying things for his family or loading money for his family to spend after office. That's very important. And because that's where the problem comes from. Tinubu has a good strategy. The strategy is the New Hope agenda. I'm sure you're aware of that. But the challenge with Tinubu is the fact that the structure doesn't take the strategy. He made a structure on ground. He's not a military president. He cannot dismantle that structure. So he has a fantastic strategy that comes with him from home. Then he resumed the presidency. Then he suddenly realized that the structure cannot power the strategy. For example, in Ministry of Petroleum, you have about 27 directors in Ministry of Petroleum, 27 directors in APC. There's another new company created, directors there. You have PPMC, you have Price Petroleum Equalization Fund. Tell me, you have a policy on petroleum. How do you distill that to these numerical directors that are filtering the whole place, and that can percolate or trickle down to the people?
That's a good point.
That's a big issue. In Ministry of Works, you have Ministry of Works, we have FEMA, you have Housing Authority. How do you make a policy? And everybody claims to be autonomous. Every day they pursue the Senate for autonomous bill. So if you're a farmer and you're autonomous of your own minister, then you have your own directors. Then you also have another institution called Housing Authority. Then you have Housing Mortgage Bank, also autonomous. So the system cannot power the structure.
It needs fundamental reforms.
Exactly.
Before
it needs fundamental reforms. Right. And it's something dangerous because there are converging interests among the federation. So Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot just come to say that the interest of A is not material to B or B to C. So how do you balance the interests here? Then secondly, the system.
Briefly, because we're almost out of time.
System. Let's just take the system and forget about the staff. Now the system.
We've got 20 seconds.
Yeah, the system cannot power the strategy because you cannot even send Minister of Finance cannot send email to Ministry of Works in the same system and tell me what is the stage of payment for this contract. It's not possible. There's no configured emails among the workers, then the staff.
Right.
This one come from Taraba, this one come from Ondo. They have different intentions and ideas. If there's a vacancy in this one, and I'm Taraba head, I will bring somebody from Taraba. If there's a vacancy here,
so basically, your point is that his program can't go forward without fundamental reform.
Yes, he needs to do reform, and he must confront that brutal fact. Maybe it's not comfortable to do that in the first time. Maybe when he comes back second time, he'll probably do it.
Okay. I want to thank you very much.
But he has a good system. Good strategy, rather. Good strategy.
Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, it's been brilliant talking with you. You really are interesting to listen to.
Thank you.
Senator Jimoh Ibrahim is the senator representing Ondo South, and he's also a governorship aspirant in Ondo State. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Chaz. Nice meeting you.
That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, bye-bye and thank you for watching.